Hello, this is Lorna Rasmussen with the Video Masterclass, Success is a Journey, and we are absolutely delighted that you joined us. Video Masterclass number 3, Creating a Plan for Achievement. You have now created a master dream list. You've gone through that list and checked the things that are important to you and starred the things that are exciting for you. And now it's time to pick one of those items off your dream list and turn it into a goal. So if you'd like to follow along with me, I'm going to pick vacation because I think that's something that we can all relate to. And we're going to create a written goal around that idea of taking a vacation. Now, why is it so important to put your goal in writing? What Tom Hopkins tells us is the day you put your goal in writing is the day it becomes a commitment that will change your life. It's very different to have a bunch of things in your head or even on your master dream list that you'd like to have happen, but it's quite different if you then make that thing happen. And you make it happen by, first of all, writing it. So we're going to talk a lot about how to write a goal properly. And we're going to use an acronym, SMART, for writing those goals. And you may have heard this before, but it's a really helpful way to think about how you write a goal. The first thing is that it has to be specific. You can't just say, I want lots of this or some of that, or I want to stop this. It has to be specific. You also want to make it measurable. Well, if it's specific, it will be measurable. So if your goal was, I want to make a lot of money, how do you measure when you've accomplished that? You can't. So you have to have a specific number. You want to have a specific time. All of those things have to be very specific, and we'll talk more about this. It has to be attainable. And what do I mean by attainable? Well, look at where you are now. And so if you were, for instance, you had a monetary goal and you said, well, I'd like to make $1 million within the next 12 months, but you'd never made more than $50,000, that would probably not be attainable. But it has to do with you and it's specific to you. So you have to, in this circumstance, think about yourself. You don't want to set goals that are too high that you never attain your goals. You're always disappointed. But on the other hand, you don't want to set goals that are so low that they don't stretch you. And so it's a combination of those two. The next thing is to make it relevant, and this is where our values come in. When we understand our core values, we can look at those goals and those things that we want and really put them in the context of what can be and will be important to us. And finally, it has to be timely. A goal without a time frame is not a goal at all, because you never know again when it is that you've won that goal, you've succeeded, because it's open-ended. So by putting a time to your goal, what you'll find is that it really increases your ability to actually realize that goal. And I don't know about you, but I'm very motivated by time, because I end up probably, like a lot of people, putting a lot more effort into trying to reach something that is specifically at a specific time. So again, how do you write this goal? Well, writing it down, do it in the first person, make it positive. In other words, rather than say you want to stop smoking, the goal would be, I am no longer a smoker. So you don't want to write down negative things about stopping or not doing things, but you want to make it positive. You want to make it detailed, just like we talked about earlier, and make it fun, and then have that deadline for its achievement. So those are the ways in which you write down your goals to achieve those goals. So here's an example with our vacation. It's December 2019, and while everyone else is shoveling snow, I'm enjoying the sun and surf, sipping umbrella drinks on a beautiful white sand beach in Costa Rica. It's got a deadline, it's fun, it's very evocative of where you are. You know exactly where this is going to be happening and what you're going to be doing. In order to really try to make this goal happen, one of the components of your goal should be the potential benefits to be gained by achieving the goal and the possible losses that will happen if you don't achieve your goal. And what we mean by that is you ask yourself, what will it mean for me to achieve this goal? What will I lose if I don't? So you're answering those two questions. What does it mean for you to achieve the goal? Those are the benefits. What will it mean if I don't attain the goal? Those are your losses. And by listing those, what you're doing is you're using as much as you possibly can to leverage yourself, because some people are actually motivated more from the losses than they are from the things that they gain. And let me give you an example. This is our vacation, and we are going to focus on the pain points, the greatest discomfort or the greatest sadness, to focus on the things that we're going to lose as a result of not getting that goal. And this is what I come up with, which is I'm going to have to spend the whole winter shoveling snow, and somebody else is going to be down in Costa Rica sipping on umbrella drinks. That may be more of a focus for me and more of a sense of loss than writing the good things that are going to happen. But you also want to write those as well, because those can be motivators as well. What's going to create the greatest joy for you if you are successful? Maybe it's a beautiful tan, maybe it's people being jealous of you, maybe it's being able to celebrate, show somebody that you really care about them. Those are the things that are going to motivate you to go ahead and achieve that goal. Now you want to ask yourself, why would I not achieve my goal? And this is interesting, because for a lot of people, this seems very negative. Why am I going to write down the things that are, I might run into or might be problematic for me? I don't want to be positive. I want to be positive. I don't want to be negative. But in fact, by listing the obstacles to you achieving your goal, you're going to get greater clarity about what might end up stopping you. So in our case with the vacation, one of those things might be lack of money. Another thing might be we don't have a passport. We can't go to Costa Rica because it requires a passport. We may not know anything about the country. We may not feel like we can get the time off from work. So these are all become obstacles. I kind of play it as a little film in my head as I imagine myself going through the year, making the plans, doing the things that I need to do, and the obstacles will pop up for me. Oh, right, I don't have my passport. Oh, right, I don't know anything about where to go in Costa Rica. Well, next to those obstacles, what we're going to do is we're going to write a list of solutions to overcome those obstacles. And this is the key to coming up with a plan, because from that list of obstacles and the solutions that we write next to them, we will create a plan of action, a critical step in moving from your dreams to your goals. And it's just like following a map. Literally, a plan of action is a map to you achieving that particular goal. So the solutions are the key. Because from those solutions, you're going to write a list of specific actions to achieving your goal. And you're going to take out a piece of paper. I've got one that I've written some things on, but any piece of paper, it's fine, or your journal, whatever, on the computer, whatever, Excel spreadsheet, your choice. And you're going to put these items down just as they come to you, reading your obstacles and your solutions, and writing down how you're going to the action steps you're going to take to overcome those obstacles. So for instance, the obstacle, will pick something simple. I don't have a passport. The solution is to order the passport. Well, that gets broken down into a couple of steps. Maybe you need to find out where to get the application form. Maybe you need to get your picture taken. You need to fill in the application. So these can all be action steps. And with each action step, we also want to give ourselves a target date. So you want to have this done. Now, as you start adding these things in, you'll start seeing an order in which they should fall. It may be that you can't order your passport. For instance, you can't order your passport before you take the picture, your picture for your passport. So that will change those target dates, and those target dates will give you the order in which you are going to approach these various action steps. You want to also track your action steps. Do what we call plan, do, review. And so as you are you've got the completion date after each of the actions, I want you also to include a date where you will review how you're doing, so that you don't get caught up at a critical point where you needed something, like you are just about to get on the plane and you realize you didn't order your passport and now you're in trouble. So by having a review date in there, and you're really going to be looking at those review dates as opportunities to gauge how you're doing in the overall plan. So the question becomes, you've got your review date and you've got your target date. What if you don't hit your review date? Well, that's easy. You just take the time to really look at things. Maybe you shuffle stuff around, but you keep on track for your target date. But what if you don't hit your target date? And this is an interesting point, because this is the point at which people will sometimes just give up. They'll say, well, I didn't hit it, I failed, I'm a loser, and off they go. So one of the things that this allows you to do actually is, it's a good thing. I'm going to tell you, it's a good thing if you don't hit every target date, because you never will hit every target date. But you can ask yourself, why did I miss the target date? And that gives you an opportunity to learn something about the whole goal setting process. Maybe you set too aggressive a date. Maybe it really wasn't possible for you to earn enough money over the 12 months that you had to actually hit that target date to go in December of 2019. Or maybe you were on track, but at some point an extra expense came up and it knocked things out of kilter. So it gives you an opportunity to learn something about yourself. It gives you an opportunity to understand better your approach to goal setting. Maybe you're too aggressive. Maybe your goals are too big, need to be brought down a little bit. Maybe you get all the money together and you're ready to go and it's only July. and then you think to yourself, well, maybe I could do something more. I could actually take a longer vacation or whatever. So it does give you that opportunity to really evaluate yourself and your process. And with that, what we're going to do is next we're going to pull it all together, and that's in video class number 4, Set Yourself Up for Success.